Hi guys, and welcome to the beautiful city of Salzburg in Austria. We will be spending here 2 days. It's currently code yellow for rain, so we'll see if we can manage to finish off this vlog today or if we'll split it in 2 days.
We've been in this area now for quite a few weeks actually. We filmed around the Lake District here in Austria, not far away from Salzburg. And now we are back in Salzburg to finish off this series in this area. And we are starting right next to Makarsteg, which is this beautiful pedestrian bridge going from one side of the river Salzach to the Old Town over there. We're gonna cross it, walk into the Old Town, and go straight up to the Hohensalzburg Fortress, which is supposedly going to give us some really good views over the city.
This river is very fast. And
is,
apparently I heard the tourist guide saying that there's no swimming allowed here.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. And it's also very turquoise.
And also there's a beach over there, a very pebbly beach.
Beach is...
Well, you're saying that, look, that person's getting in the water. I don't think that guide meant that you're not allowed to swim here. It's just that people don't swim here because they go to the lakes.
Okay. But in direct sun, this river looks really beautiful.
And even now, I mean, look at
Yeah,
this.
it's still turquoise, yeah.
This is actually really beautiful. It looks genuinely like a mountain river.
Okay, we looked it up, so apparently it's not illegal to swim in the river, but it's discouraged because of the strong currents. So even that lady over there just took a dip and then went out. You are allowed to kayak though.
Oh, good, thank God. Because if it starts raining today and we can't do our visit through the city, we might come here and do some kayaking. The city of Salzburg has an old town, very beautiful with old buildings, and it's known for its beautiful riverside views, for its gardens and green spaces, but also probably mainly for being Mozart's hometown. So incidentally, now that we're walking towards the fortress on the hill, we walked past Mozart's birthplace, the house where he lived until he was, I think, about 17. At the time, the Mozarts were not part of the upper class. They were a middle-class family. His dad was also a musician. But because of Mozart's talent and how he was perceived, they got to live an upper class life through the perks, and they were invited to aristocratic events. They met emperors and queens and so on. So they were very much envied by the high society of Salzburg, and therefore they got invited everywhere, even though they were just a normal working class family. Now, on our way to the fortress again, we ended up in Residenzplatz. There's a lot of museums, churches, the main Dome of Salzburg's over there, but we'll come back here. Let's first get to the fortress because that gets really crowded early in the day, and for now it's not raining, and I think we got a bit of a hike uphill. So to get to the fortress you can take a sort of like a funicular, a very short one, but as far as I've understood, if you buy the ticket for it, you're essentially paying for your entrance into the fortress museum as well. So it's quite expensive if you just want to do the funicular. I think it's about 14-15 euros a person. And I don't think there's a way for you to just pay for the funicular. So because of that, we'll just go for a hike uphill, which is nice. If it's not raining, it's nice. Great morning workout. So the actual funicular is only 1 minute long and it's super steep. It looks very modern and nice and pretty, so I would trust it, but genuinely for 15 euros just to get to the top, I think that's a little bit ridiculous per person. All right, this is a bit more difficult than I thought. All right, many more stairs to go. a hike with classical music. We haven't had that in a while. Or ever. Or ever. Look at that view. I think we're about halfway up right now. Safe to say that our business senses were not the best this morning.
No.
We still had to pay in the end. So we got to the top and there were some of those turnstiles you have to pay to get through. Anyway, we ended up paying 11 euros per person. And that allows us to visit the grounds and actually the funicular on the way down if we wanted.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if you wanted.
Okay.
So we can do that.
Okay.
But otherwise, we ended up saving about 3 euros per person by coming up on our own. So it's not all bad. 6 euros. There you
A
go.
little bit of cardio, I mean.
It's some sort of a wurst we got for that money. Anyway, we are now on the grounds of the fortress. We're going to walk around for a bit. We are getting some raindrops. Well, we are walking on the grounds here of the fortress Hochensalzburg. It's very pretty, it's very well kept. And with that, we found out that it's one of the largest and best preserved medieval fortresses in the whole of Europe. I feel like we've really climbed all the way up to the top, so...
No, I think not. I think there's another.
Oh, there's one, okay. Because I was just about to say that I'm hoping that the views are going to be incredible from up here.
Okay, so our basic ticket includes the panorama view as well. So we're going to see what the city looks like. Everything was so fast and so steep.
Yeah.
Also, there's limited spots here. I saw that
Oh,
there's
really? They're counting them.
yeah, there's like 30 something more spots available here. So it doesn't get too overcrowded.
It's already very overcrowded.
Yes, it is.
The views up here are extraordinary, but it is also very windy, and also because we climbed quite quickly, we did both break a bit of a sweat, and now it's like really cold up here.
It is a bit windy, so I hope the sound is okay. But behind us, you can see that the mountains have snow on top, and it's only October, but there's already snow. I guess this is a year-long snow.
Or I'm guessing it's probably like normal anyway.
Yeah, well, it's nice to see.
But it's a very small platform up here at the top, as you can see. You can fit maybe like 20 people if you squeeze them in. Really good views, and there's also 360 around.
The whole city of Salzburg is surrounded by mountains, basically,
Yeah.
as far as I can see.
Ready to go back down? Thing is, because it's still not raining, and I think rain will start soon, we're trying to do as many things as we can before the rain starts, so come on, let's go. Normally we'd probably linger here a bit more. This is nice.
Yeah.
We're now walking through the actual defense wall. So you wouldn't think, but because this is actually so well preserved, but this fortress has been here for 1,000 years.
So if you were an archer, you would sit here with your bow and arrow.
Exactly, and you would die of old age, aged 29.
From an infected
Yeah, exactly. great musician.
Self-taught, like Mozart. Oh no!
You can hear
It's
the rain.
raining.
You can hear the rain, right? Yeah, we're not leaving.
Yeah.
I mean,
gonna
we do
live
have
here.
an umbrella, but still.
Oh.
Listen, of all places to be stuck in, we're stuck in a fortress. We're safe here.
Yeah, but there's no food.
Are you hungry?
Well, no, but
There you
who
go.
knows how long we'll be here?
Yeah, we'll be here for months. The Salzburger Nockerl, the dessert, that is very traditional to, obviously, to Salzburg, and you should definitely have that. But if you're here by the fortress, there's a couple of restaurants. None of them are very well rated or known to be very good, so we definitely do recommend going down back to the bottom in the Old Town and eating there, because there's quite a few really nice spots there, which is exactly what we're gonna do a bit later anyway.
We got lost, so we decided to take the funicular down because it's quicker. Even though I'm kind of nervous.
Terrified.
Yeah, more like terrified, yes. I'm just gonna keep my eyes closed.
Well, listen, if we make it on the other side,
On the other
We'll
side,
go-
like down.
we'll go
Which
straight.
side?
We'll go straight to get you some glühwein. We saw a spot that sells it, but it was
No, it was thirsty.
very touristy,
We'll
of
look
course.
for something else.
Yeah, you're lost. We made it.
It wasn't too bad. It was very short.
It's very quick. 1 minute and 10 seconds. We got off the funicular and we are walking through a very, very beautiful cemetery, St. Peter's. We are right next to St. Peter's Church as well. And we are walking towards St. Peter's Culinarium, I think it's called. It's the oldest restaurant in the world, or one of the oldest restaurants in the world. Started around the year 800. We're not gonna stop here and eat. We do have other spots that we wanna try. But anyway, it's a very interesting thing to walk past. And it is most definitely quite touristy. So if you are in Salzburg, you want to try a different setting. It looks completely different to what you would expect from a traditional Austrian spot. Definitely give this place a go. But for us, we do have a few other things in mind for today. But yeah, keep this one in mind. We entered the Dom zu Salzburg. This is in the main square in Residenzplatz. Very beautiful 17th century cathedral.
Yeah, it's enormous. It's very grand.
Baroque, gorgeous decorations. It is very, very well kept. Also, even though we did think that it was free to come in, apparently as of I think 2021, you now have to pay €5 to come in for the main area and then some a few extra euros if you want to do a few other tours around here.
At least it's very cozy.
It is very
More.
cozy. We're probably going to be here for a while now.
Get a sandwich.
Very nice.
Yeah.
One of the more beautiful ones we've seen.
Yeah, it's very tastefully done.
I found out some interesting facts. There's 5 organs in this cathedral. There's the big one right above the door, and there's 4 more in the middle. And apparently Mozart worked here, and he worked here regularly, so he'd be here for every Sunday Mass, and he would play the organs, especially some of the smaller ones there. He was actually here very, very regularly. This was actually one of his jobs.
Okay.
Are you ready to go back out in the rain?
No.
We have to push through.
It's so nice here. I'm sitting down. It's cozy.
Yes, but we did do some of the more cultural stuff today, and now it's time for a bit of food.
Okay, sure. Then let's go.
On our way now, straight ahead across Residenzplatz onto Goldgasse, which is one of the most beautiful, charming, tiny, narrow streets here in the Old Town. And then we're gonna get a traditional Salzburger sausage. No? Am I the only one excited here? And then the crowd goes wild.
Growing up, I used to love these types of chocolate, the Mozart ones, but it was always kind of a luxury.
It was very much a luxury.
Yeah, so now we are in the original store, and yay!
We've never had these types of...
No, we never got these types. This one's with marzipan and nougat. This one's with marzipan and...
Pistachio?
Pistachio, chocolate. And this one's Korea's one, hazelnut and nougat, I think. And so the original one it's not here.
The original one is somewhere over there.
Yeah. And Korea wants to get the limoncello one as well.
What's the difference between number 1 and number 4?
Number 1 is no ketchup.
Okay, number 4 then, please. Is it with 2 sausages?
Yes.
Yeah. And 1 Stiegel?
No Zipfer.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Balkan Grill Walter. This spot has been here since the 50s. What we have here is an absolute staple in Salzburg. It's called a Bosna, and the name comes from the country of Bosnia. In the 50s, there was this Yugoslav immigrant that lived in Salzburg and created this. It's basically 2 spicy sausages and a bit of a bread with some parsley and onions, curry, mustard, and ketchup.
Sounds good.
And it goes really well with some beer. I was hoping for Stiegel, the local Salzburgian beer, but they didn't have it, so here we go.
There's the pigeon.
It's really hot.
As in spicy or warm?
Warm. So Laura and I, we grew up in western Romania, which is really close to Hungary and Serbia. And a street food that's very popular over there is the pleškavica, which is Serbian. It tastes like that a bit,
Really?
but it's in a sausage form. It's
Yeah.
because of the onions.
Oh.
I don't know if you remember, but the pleškavica used to have a lot of onions.
Yeah.
So when you bite into it, you feel the meat, you feel the onions, and the bread, obviously.
Yeah, it's great to have it before a date or something.
Listen, back in that day, we didn't have any dates, right? Needless to say that Laura stole my snack.
I didn't, but I have to have some because otherwise it will smell like onion and I won't.
That beer is actually good.
Yeah.
Beer and sausage on the streets of Salzburg.
I feel very masculine.
Let me turn on the TV with some football now. That was a delicious snack, but now it's raining again. Okay, we are going to a very non-traditional spot next. We were thinking between a coffee spot and a matcha spot, and Laura won the debate.
I mean, we had a lot of coffee today, and yeah, I think matcha is the right choice. Mine is way bigger.
Mine is way better.
So they also have coffee, so it's a good compromise.
But this looks great.
I really like the glass.
It's like one of those chemistry class
Indeed.
thingies. We are in Domo Domo. Brand new spot, apparently just opened a couple of months ago. Matcha, is it good?
Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
But it's a great spot to take cover from the rain, and it's literally across this very, very narrow street from the Café Mozart, which is obviously Café Mozart, super famous here. We're gonna spend a bit of time here and then walk to a restaurant where we're gonna have a dessert. Okay, we are on our way to a traditional Austrian restaurant to get a traditional Austrian dessert. But I just want to take a second to say that even though it's raining, well, now not so much, but even though it's been raining and it's now, actually it's quite a little bit cold, it is a beautiful city to stroll through. It's quite small, so realistically 48 hours here should allow you to see at a very slow pace everything that you do want to see. But the beauty of Salzburg is also the fact that on a 2-hour radius from Salzburg, you have so many things to see and do, much like the lakes that we've been to. So take the time to come to Salzburg with maybe like 3 or 4 days, enough time to see the city and the surrounding area, because it is very, very beautiful.
Gorgeous, yeah.
And if you're lucky enough to have really good weather, like we did when we saw the lakes in one of those days, then it'll be a very special time. But now we just arrived at Wirthaus Svetla's, our next stop. Okay, so we're having to wait outside for a bit for a table, but turns out that all the tables here are to share, so you're not gonna have your own table for two. That's the name. Svetla's.
Very autumnal. I mean, Halloween is very close.
Yeah, I really like
Put
this
this
place.
aside.
It's very traditional looking, very beautiful, and the prices are good. It's less expensive than in the, let's say, overly touristy fancy spots right in the center of the old town.
Yeah, because we had to choose between this one and a more fancier one, but we wanted something a bit more simple, more traditional, a bit cozier. But yeah, this one is really nice.
But it's also very popular. It's full of people.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers. I wanted to get some mulled wine, but they couldn't have any. Maybe next place.
You got the unmulled version.
Unmulled, yes. Good.
This is good beer. Unfiltered, very nice.
Oh, let me try. I like the glass, the mark.
Kaiser Karl.
That's good.
Good beer.
Yeah, very smooth.
So we are sitting down on a table that's for share, as we said. We're sitting down next to someone who just ordered what we're gonna have next. But it takes 20 to 25 minutes for our dish to be ready. It's a delicious looking, sort of like a souffle dessert made out of egg white. And it's like really beautifully baked to golden crisp. And I think it's served with
Jam or something, raspberry jam.
raspberry jam or compote or something. It looks really nice and it's very large. I don't know if it's because it's actually funny or just because my inner age is 12, but the fact that this is so jiggly, I think that's hilarious.
Looks like a sphinx cat or something.
Exactly.
So this is a very traditional dessert for Salzburg for centuries. It's basically egg whites, a souffle made out of egg whites with sugar on top and I think strawberry jam.
Yeah.
It should be very light.
And it's very large. It's easily for 2 people.
Yes.
Like if you have this on your own, after you've had your main food, I think you've had too much food probably.
And the 3 peaks represent the mountains surrounding Salzburg.
Yes, so when you're in Salzburg and you are lucky enough to have really good weather, you can actually do some really nice and very short hikes, like half an hour to an hour, on some of these peaks around here, especially Kapuzinerberg, which is very close to the city center. So I guess that's for another time.
I mean, I haven't tasted it yet, but for now it's just a fun dessert.
It's very fun looking, not gonna lie. All right, here we go. It's good.
Super light, so fluffy.
It vanishes in your mouth.
Yeah, it's basically souffle.
I actually like this. It's not like, I kind of like it. I like it.
It's your kind of dessert. I knew you would like it. Because you like marshmallow.
This is much better than marshmallows.
Yes.
In most places you go, especially the one with 3 peaks, it is quite pricey. We've seen it range between 20 to 30 euros for a portion, and it does take almost half an hour to make. So bear that in mind. This one we got is 23 euros. So it's on the lower end, but it's a very beautiful spot, and actually the taste is amazing.
And I feel like the jam is a bit bitter as well, which is good.
This is so much more tastier than I thought it would be.
And it's warm as well.
So Salzburg is known for its very good dessert. Obviously, we bought the small Mozart Kugeln, as they call them. We bought this. We're gonna have the traditional Sachertorte a bit later as well.
Yes, and they're also known for their strudel.
Strudel, you have the...
Strudel is, I think, the most traditional one.
Yeah, and then you have the other one we had in Vienna. You can get here I forgot the name, the shredded pancake. You remember
yes,
that?
yes.
Yeah, you can get that one as well. Correction, it's not strawberry jam, it is cranberry jam.
Yeah, it's cranberry sauce. I do remember seeing the one with raspberry as well. So the traditional one is either raspberry or cranberry.
Yeah, and apparently you can find one that has a bit of dough in between the actual souffle and the sauce. But apparently this here is the very most traditional one you can find in
Cranberry sauce, yes.
Salzburg. So don't forget, come to Zvetler's to get this one. We're having a grand old time here.
It's so soft. I feel like slapping it. But like in a gentle way.
In a caressing way. So apparently the powdered sugar on top represents the snow that is atop of the mountains around Salzburg. But yeah, we were told that it's not extremely traditional for people at home to actually make this. It's traditional in the sense that it's old in the area, but I think right now it's mainly a touristy thing.
And apparently this one is made out of 10 egg whites and 1 egg yolk.
The whole portion, yeah.
So Horia is having a lot of protein now because
Yes.
I can't eat anymore.
It's a lot of protein and a lot more sugar than that.
Yes.
That was the biggest dessert that I've ever had in my life, and I didn't even get to finish it. It was so large, so easily 2 people, if not even 3 people. 1 mountain for each person. We spoke to our waiter. Turns out that at home, most of the people around here have Apfelstrudel.
Yeah.
That's very common.
Because the souffle apparently is too complicated. It's too hard to make.
Yeah, it takes a lot of time too. Anyway, we are now back in Residenzplatz, and if you ever come to Salzburg for Christmas, over here is where they have their main Christmas market, and it's also one of the oldest in Europe, from the late 1400s, so that's 500 and something years. of Christmas stuff. Saying that, actually walking through Salzburg, it does give you that feeling that for Christmas it would be like a really nice place to come to. And also very important, Salzburg has an international airport that is very, very close to the center. So it's, I think, like a 15-minute drive from the city center to the airport. Very easy to get in and out, so
Very easy to navigate, yeah.
I think it's a perfect city break if you come to Salzburg.
Yeah, I feel like if you want to have a taster of Austria, Salzburg is very easy to navigate and enjoy, and you don't need too much time here.
And also the food here in Salzburg is very similar to the one in Vienna. They serve in restaurants more or less similar foods, so it's not like in Italy where different regions have vastly different foods. Over here, at least, even if it's not traditional to the area, you will find more or less similar foods to Vienna. We walked past this sign next to Mozart's birthplace, and it had a quote on it from Mozart's father to Mozart's mother, saying that he doesn't want to live in that house anymore because they keep sleeping like soldiers.
Like all three of them.
All three of them in one bed.
With young Mozart.
And because Wolfgang is now not 7 or 8, I don't know what it said anymore, they need to move somewhere else. And actually they did that. They moved on the other side of the river into a bigger apartment, which you can now also visit. So there's two museums. There's Mozart's birthplace, and then there's Mozart house on the other side.
Where he had his own room.
Allegedly. Or maybe the dad had his own room.
I would wait a million lonely hours, trying to win your heart, trying to get to where you are. And I would live a million lonely lifetimes if I knew I could get back to you. Yeah, I just wanna get back to you. May take some time, I don't wanna find no one but you in my arms. If it's a test, I'm doing my best, but it gets hard being without you.
We made it to Mirabell Gardens, part of the Mirabell Palace. This is one of the prettiest spots in Salzburg. Very beautiful baroque garden. The palace was built in the 1600s, and actually this spot, I was told, is very well known because of the Sound of Music movie, which was part of it was filmed here. I've never seen it. I think Laura has.
Yeah, I've seen it, but I was way too young, so I don't remember a lot of it.
So a fun fact is the fact that Sound of Music is actually super popular in the US and the British audience, but actually people in Salzburg and locals have never seen it. Nobody watches it. It's really not a thing, and most of them are actually quite surprised that it's so popular abroad. Yeah, and there's obviously so many tours where you can go visit all the spots where the movie was filmed. But I think this is one of the few spots where it was filmed out of where we've been today. We gotta find the stairs where they filmed that one scene that I saw.
I would walk a million lonely miles to look you in the eye, have you here by my side. Swim every ocean, fight till I'm broken. I just wanna get back to you. Yeah, I just wanna get back to you.
We found the famous stairs. They're right behind us. And everyone seems to be doing the choreography from the movie.
Are they?
Yeah, they keep jumping up and down the stairs.
Oh.
I think that's what they do in the film.
Oh, I thought they were just taking photos.
No, it's a whole thing.
Okay.
It's a whole production. Very beautiful spot here. The alleys in the main side of the garden, they all lead towards the fortress. So you can actually see very beautifully the fortress all the way up to the top.
Yeah, you have great views of the fortress from here.
This is our first trip outside of the town center. We are at Augustiner Bräu, which is a brewery where monks have been brewing beer since the 1600s. We got each a beer here.
The same size.
Only mine is slightly smaller. It's good. Last one. One of the big tents in Oktoberfest is from this brewery here. Normally over here, if it's nice and sunny outside, or at least mildly warm, you can sit outside in the beer garden. But seeing as it's actually wet and cold, everyone's inside right now. There's 4, if not more actually, of these absolutely massive beer halls. Everyone's just sitting around having traditional food and drinking beers.
And you typically share a table, but note that the beer and the food is cash only.
And we just had enough cash to buy ourselves the beer.
Yes.
And I'm gonna have to run and get some cash any second now so we can afford some food as well.
Yeah.
This place is so traditional. It feels honestly like we're back in like the 70s or something like that, if not way longer ago.
You remember the 70s?
Of course, do you not?
Oh, really?
What about the swinging 60s? It's just such a very toned down vibe. I think it's the fact that there's no music and you can only hear the chatter of...
Males, especially.
Yeah, I would say it's probably like 80% men over here. And also, we are some of the younger people here.
Yes, proud to say.
Still hanging in there. Prices are very good. I got a absolutely huge beer. Laura got a normal beer, and together it was 11 euros, so it's actually not bad. The process is you walk in, you grab your own mug from the shelf, then you take it to this sort of water fountain where you rinse it. You can actually have that water to drink if you prefer, and then you pay for whatever size mug you choose to get. And then you take the receipt with you to the people that actually fill it from a wooden barrel. I think back in the day, you were able to do this whole process on your own, the filling as well. Prost. Actually a really good beer, not gonna lie.
Keeps you hydrated.
It's very important to stay hydrated. I have several updates.
Okay.
So I went out to get some cash. I did. Everything went well. I got the cash. Then I went around to do a lap and understand this place a bit better. So this is actually an old Augustinian monastery, very similar to the Augustine hotel we stayed in Prague. That was also a monastery. And I went around. There's several rooms. There's a main one which is very beautiful with a beautiful chandelier with stained glass on the sides. Very nice. But that's the busiest one.
Yeah, well.
However, I did find a couple other rooms, especially one of them, which is very pretty and it's quite empty, so we could move there if we wanted to. I think we might have this beer and then move somewhere, and then get some more beer and get some food.
I can't drink any more beer.
Also, I went around to see what the food situation is. So there's several stalls. It's much like a food market in a way. There's a couple with only bread and like pretzels and stuff like that. And then there's a few which only serve food, different kinds. One of them is cheese only, one of them has some sort of seafood. There's a couple with pork only, but one of them actually had Turkish schnitzels, had chicken cordon bleus, and had different kinds of schnitzels, like pig, pork as well, and so on.
Do you think I can grab wine instead of beer?
I don't know.
Everything's lighter now. Oh, the sun and moon burn so much brighter now. And the warm light glows like fire now. Oh, the years come up and go. Oh, the seeds we plant, every stitch you sow. And you know.
We ended up moving in a different room in the end because it's brighter and a bit prettier, I think more recently renovated and a lot emptier.
Yes, it's quieter and we have our own table so we don't have to share.
And we have a stained glass, so there's that.
Yeah. So here I went to...
Scavenge some food.
yes. I have a chicken schnitzel.
Turkey.
Oh,
Turkish schnitzel, chicken cordon bleu,
okay.
loads of sauerkraut, and I have here Leberkäse, which is this, which is essentially a traditionally Austrian meatloaf. This one is, well, there's different kinds, but this one is the spicy version with chili.
Spicy like you?
And there's also, yes, precisely, and also one gherkin, one pickle I heard that the sauerkraut here is very good.
Oh wow, it's warm. I've never had warm sauerkraut.
We've had it in Sarmale.
Okay, well, wow, but it is very good.
It's very good. But I didn't expect it to be hot.
Yeah.
Price-wise, food here is more expensive than in a normal food market, but less expensive than in a restaurant. So all of this, a lot of food actually, it was about 30 euros. 3 portions essentially, because we got 3 dishes.
I feel like food, if you go out in Austria, is a bit on the pricier side. So I feel like 30 euro is not that much.
It's not bad, it's not bad.
Look at this schnitzel. It's huge. And it's good.
And the beer is one of the best we've had so far. So, because I did continue to look into the whole Augustine
Of course you did.
monks making beer, and turns out that back then in the 1600s and so on, a lot of the breweries started back then in monasteries because apparently it was safer from a cleanliness standpoint to drink beer than it was to drink water back then.
Like gin in England.
Exactly. This beer is different from the one that the other Augustine monks were making in Prague, but essentially the reasons were the same. They would make it for themselves. They would make it to be financially sustainable, so they would sell it as well.
Also in a good mood.
Also to be in a good mood and enjoy the beautiful weather in the dark and cold winters of Salzburg.
And try the cordon bleu. Good, right?
Oh wow. I think over here if you come for a few hours for one person with 20 euros you can eat and drink really well. 20, 25 maximum for a few hours you're set. Is the cordon bleu
Really
good?
Beer is good, food is good. It's pretty good, right?
Right, let's do the pickle. The Augustine monks know what they're doing.
So when we say that the beer is good, we mean that it's not bitter, not as bitter. It's, I don't know, creamier.
And it's big, that's also important.
Yours, yeah.
Earlier today, before we went to Mirabell Gardens, we stopped by the very famous Café Sacher, which is, well, part of the Sacher Hotel, which is the place where they initially first ever created the Sacher Torte, which is this famous cake in Austria, Vienna especially, but also in this part of Austria. So we ended up buying one of the smaller cakes there.
Yeah, the smallest one possible.
And we brought it home now. At the end of the day, this is how we're gonna end today's vlog. We're gonna try this famous cake.
Okay, so it's all very fancy. Are you gonna eat the rest of it today, or?
I'm gonna eat all of it today.
What are we gonna do with all of this?
You can eat it.
Oh my god.
Funny thing is we don't have plates.
No, we don't. It's fine.
Okay, so if you've watched our vlog in Vienna, you would know. If you haven't yet, go back and watch it. But if you still haven't, the Sacher Torte is this traditional chocolate cake from the mid-1800s, created in Vienna by Mr. Sacher, that was his name. And it's basically a sponge cake with chocolate and some apricot jam in the middle. And like a chocolate glaze on top.
It's good.
Laura was not a fan of the one we had in Vienna either, necessarily.
I'm not a fan of apricot jam. Yeah, but Horia likes it.
As far as chocolate sponge cakes go, I'm sure it's...
Yeah, it's not dry at all. I mean, it's good. It's just not my type of dessert. I don't know.
It's really nice. It's an old-fashioned cake.
Yes.
Yeah. But it's good. I like it. Like, it's really good.
Yeah, but this coffee shop that we got it from the store, but they also have, the hotel has a coffee shop and it's super popular.
It's very fancy.
Yeah.
Oh, I just finished the whole cake.
He ate a slice.
So we actually ended up doing everything that we wanted to in just the first day.
Yeah, the code yellow for rain was not that dramatic, actually.
It
It rained for a bit, but it wasn't, yeah. We really liked our day in Salzburg. It's so easy to navigate. Everything is so pretty, so pristine.
We actually ended up walking most of the city, and we didn't walk that much. It was like 13,000 steps, everything we did today.
Yeah.
Beautiful place, easy to navigate, gorgeous. Let's make sure we come back at some point in a better season, or at least, if not, in winter.
Yeah, during Christmas.
But until then, thank you so much for watching our vlog. Make sure you subscribe, you like this video, and we'll definitely see you in the next one.